have you ever played? Have you played the newer?
Gold,
Have you
silver.
have you
Those are
played?
the ones I hate.
Have you played Pokemon Black or White too?
I've beaten the first gym leader.
Oh.
No, that's Black and White 1,
Oh.
not Black and White 2. I haven't even touched them.
But
Because I haven't beaten Black and White 1.
it was actually recently that I actually gave the 5th generation a chance, and I'm actually surprised that most of the Pokemon. I thought the trash bag, Trubbish. I thought that's one of the ones that turned me off. To the 5th
Well, I mean,
generation.
what did the original Pokemon do? They took normal animals and gave them features.
Yeah.
That's what they're still doing today. I mean, to a different degree. I mean, Mudkip, think about it. Mudkip's just that little fish with Mudkip features.
I heard you like Mudkips.
What the fuck did you fucking say about me, you little bitch? I'll have you know, I graduated top of my class in the United States, and they oh, I bought a pony. Oh.
Pick up the. But what I was gonna say is that in Black and White 2, there's this part. It's like later in the game where one of the towns gets frozen over, and it doesn't get unfrozen until after you've beaten the Elite Four and the champion. And the 2 routes that connect to the town, parts of those routes are frozen over, and you have to navigate them because with like a puzzle, and it's so much trouble. Even though like you can use fly, of course, you know, get to other towns. But what if like you missed an item on that route or something?
I cannot imagine doing that, you know? There are so many games where, you know, they'll give you the... Like, okay, Pokemon, the caves. In any Pokemon, I do not recall ever once going back into a cave on purpose. You know, unless the game absolutely required me to, I avoided caves.
I especially hate caves in Pokemon you have to use Flash in order to see. Even though you can like navigate them, I mean, decently without it, Flash is just stupid.
It's a useless attack. That's why I don't like it. Yeah.
I mean, sure you can get an HM slave, but I mean, like, what if like it's later in the game? It's like the last cave before the Elite Four, and you need to travel with your Pokemon to face like, you know, the trainers that are on the route, but you don't want it. But you need Flash in order to see. You don't want to use an HM slave because you want to have your Pokemon all fancied up.
I remember with the old games, you couldn't. I mean, you could just pause, and then when the game would unpause or whatever, you could see what's going on. You know, in the cave. I remember using that a lot. That was a little exploit that I like to use. I don't know. I find with lots of games, I use a lot of little things I shouldn't be able to do more than I should. And then there are games that are like designed around that kind of idea. You know, where there's some games where it makes you think that you can't do it, but it's required, pretty much. Like I know Portal has some examples of that. But there's some games where, you know, there's some things you should be able to do, but you just can't. There's some games where you know, there's one thing you're like, oh, I think I should be able to do this, and then you can, but at the same time, it serves no purpose to anything. You know, the least it could do is be like entertaining, or, you know, have a little funny thing. Like, okay, I'm gonna use BioShock as an example here. I remember in the old BioShocks, there would be phones. There'll be little phones hanging around. You know, you could walk up to a phone and click on it. It would have this short little thing where it would just be like, hey, there's nothing. I mean, it wouldn't have a conversation or anything. It would just go, this phone's not working. And, you know, you can't click on most everything else. I don't know why you can click on these phones. You know?
Yeah.
Half-Life, I think, is one of the worst for this, because, you know, a lot of things in Half-Life are movable, but then you see something, you're like, I want to be able to move that, and, you know, just can't, except they do make up for that for being able to throw TVs out windows. I like throwing my TV out windows in Half-Life. Whenever I find a TV.
What about throwing them at Macs?
At who?
How about Linux? Linuxes.
Smart joke.
Indubitably.
Well, what if I were to throw it up at, I don't know,
can't think of anything.
another.
Come on, come on, come on! The comeback's coming out. Come on, come on out. Come on, you can get it out. You can get that. You can redeem yourself. Come on, Fur, you can do it.
I remember when I was a little kid, I was having a struggle with taking a poo-poo, and my mommy, she was like, "Are you done yet?" I was like, "No, mommy, I'm having troubles." And she was like, "You know, when I'm having trouble taking a big load off, I like to sit there and think of things that make me happy." And I was like, "Really? Like what?" And she started singing. And she started singing about a few of her favorite things. When the dog fight, when the beast. Yes, my mom was Dutch. No. She was. That was bad. No, it was actually pretty good. But I feel like it should be bad just because everything I say is terrible and no one should follow my example because I'm a bad person. No one should like me.
Aww.
Did you just pull on its tongue?
Yep. I don't know. That also is another example. Remember how you saying that phone thing? You can't pull on the tongues of these statues like in any other place, but right here,
yeah,
you pull it in order to open it.
I mean, sometimes I like things like that where it's just like you expect not to be able to interact with it, but sometimes you just can. You know, it's like, wait, this time I can interact it. Like, there's a lot of games like that. I keep saying like, and it's annoying, really.
Like totally.
Yeah, yeah, but it was just so natural right then. There's. Okay, I'm gonna use BioShock again.
You just like using.
Because I've been playing BioShock for the past like 3 weeks. I've been playing through the first 2 games to get up to the new game, and I've beaten the new game, and it's been like one of my main focuses instead of doing work like I usually do, because I wanted to have a little fun. But playing the game, you know, there's this one area where you're supposed to push a bookshelf. You know, there's a lot of games where you push things, but at the same time, you just don't expect to be pushing a bookshelf in the game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you start doing things, and you know, there's never another time where you push a bookshelf. It's just kind of like, well, why could I push that one without pushing all these other ones? That is a moving floor. That would frustrate me.
Well, we were actually here before. This is why I said backtracking.
Well, I know we're backtracking, but I didn't notice it the first time, and I hate moving floors. Sometimes they're okay, but I hate when levels are like based around the idea that the floor is working in a different way.
Or auto-scrolling levels.
I'm having flashbacks to Mario, sorry. Mario is the worst about that. But at the same time, Mario does it in a way that it's like... Sometimes Mario, it does it in a way that's just so unforgiving that I just can't forgive it. What are those giant spike things supposed to be, anyhow?
They're just spike traps.
I don't like them.
Okay. Fur and I were talking about this in the long process of getting the upgrades for the arrows and bombs. Because right now we're about to open the chest, which will get us the first tunic. Well, we already have it. Well, technically we are wearing a tunic, but we shall see it. Let's see. We got the blue mail.
Oh my god. It is Skulu.
We're not Derpy anymore. We're Scootaloo.
I like Derpy better.
We're chicken.
Ah!
No, I'm not. I'm a chicken. Okay.
I like Derpy better. What do the tunics do in this game? Because you know you're not going underwater, so what does the blue tunic do?
The tunics in this game just reduce the amount of damage you take. Now here is the area where it would require a heck of a lot of backtracking. We would have to, on the floor above us, we would have to push a block, and then it would fall down here, and then we'd push it right here. But that would require us to loop probably around the entire dungeon several times. But because we have the Cane of Samaria, we can just create blocks and just do that.
That's great.
No, I don't want to. I don't want to be a bunny.
What? You don't want to be a Scooter bunny?
Nope.
Bakak!
Okay, let's this back out. Block. And we're coming up onto the boss.
Are we now?
Yeah. We are.
Do they really have to have two statues right next to each other like that? That's just like mean game design. You know what I always thought was the worst?
Yep, you can pull the tongues on these ones. What?
You know what I always thought was the worst? You remember the secret bases in Ruby and Emerald and Sapphire?
Yeah.
I always thought that those were just underdeveloped, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like they just, you know, they tried to put them in, I think it's Diamond and Pearl, and I feel like they just didn't improve them at all, you know?
Mm-hmm.
My problem was always that I just didn't have enough space, and I had to find a place and then work with the design that I found.
I always hated those secret bases where there was like the two pit holes. Like pit holes, and you can't like walk around the entire secret base because there's always a pit hole in the way of getting into the rest of the base. And you have to go to like a certain store on a certain time when the
yes.
in order to buy like these boards that allowed you to go across the holes. But that would also in doing so would make it so you had one less item to use in the base.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, with that aside, let's go on to the boss.
I feel like those things could have been put to so much better use.
And here we have another eyeball boss, Cold Stare. Yeah.
I would have never guessed.
Its name, Cold Stare.
I always liked ice effects in older video games. I don't know. I just like how they look, the way, you know, because ice is one of those things that tiles well, you know? That said, the floor looks like bricks.
It's not ice, so I'm not slipping and sliding around, so woo.
Well, that is true.
That would make this boss fight a heck of a lot tougher. And it's not really that hard, even though I'm on 2 hearts, but that's just because I've...
Can we talk about how Scootaloo is fighting Flufflepony?
Flufflepuff!
Yeah, Flufflepuff.
Hufflepuff.
I have a personal grudge against the guy who creates it, but I love the content. It's Flufflepuff, like the actual thing. It's so funny. I don't like Fluffy Ponies as a design thing, but I love what he does with them. That said, I still have that.
Okay, I've come up with the last maiden's voice. Derpy, because of you, I can escape from the clutches of the evil monsters, thank you. They say the Hylia people control mysterious powers, as did the 7 wise men. But the blood of the Hylia has become thin over time. We who carry the blood of the 7 wise men do not possess strong power anymore either. Our powers will increase if we mix the courage of the knights with the wisdom of the wise men. Only a short time remains until the gate at the castle linking the worlds opens completely. If you defeat Ganon, this world will vanish and the Triforce will wait for a new holder. I believe in you. Good luck. Yeah, I didn't even try. Okay.
Wee.
Are you just gonna fall down through the very middle? Is that you're gonna fall down through the very middle? Because it looks like if you fall down through the very middle.
Wee. No, no, oh, stop.